Mystery Mayhem is shockingly one of the most popular Scooby games ever made, and I'm not really sure why. Okay, all right, sorry for bringing the sass a little early this video, but this game is easily one of the most requested games for me to talk about, to my total shock. See, this game was released during the peak of licensed games, and actually it was a GBA game before, and then it released on these consoles in 2004. And this game is completely different from many of the previous Scooby games. Most of the notable modern Scooby games are usually platformers, but this game is not the case. And this isn't a bad thing, by the way. A lot of people compare this game to Luigi's Mansion because, well, I mean, sheesh, look at it. Hey, let me copy your homework. Okay, but change it a little so the teacher doesn't know. But people love Luigi's Mansion, and that doesn't really have any platforming at all, even with the franchise's history. So what does this mean for Mystery Mayhem? Did this game succeed in this kind of genre of game? See, guys, here's the thing. You need to leave! Look, guys, I know a lot of you love this game and have a ton of nostalgia for it and want a remake, but I just don't think this game has aged that well at all. A lot of people form these three Scooby games into like a little trilogy, but I just feel like this game does not live up to the same level as these other two, which I've talked about in previous videos, so please go check those out. And there are multiple reasons why I think this game is not very good, but how about I switch it up and talk about some things this game does really well to appease the mob. This is probably the first Scooby game where I actually really liked the story. I thought the cutscenes were written really well. It was like they were out of an episode of the show, and some bits in the game actually made me laugh, which I don't think I could say for any other game I've covered other than Frights. It's funny how the librarian is also this super spy. I love a villain that is just so insanely evil for no reason. Her plan is to just take over the world, and there doesn't need to be some underlying reason why. It helps that this game is stacked with a very impressive cast of voices really working overtime. Like, look how often these notable people appear in the credits. These guys did not want to pay any more people. But all right, that's all the nice things I want to say, because while the cutscenes are written really well, they look like shit. They look so weird. I don't like it. The art style is already kind of weird enough. I'm not really sure what they used as a reference, but the animation is particularly distracting. Like, I swear I'm gonna see this fat walk out at any minute. Their lips aren't even synced properly. But this isn't really my big issue with the game. The real issue is how this game is set up. So we've previously stated, this game is Luigi's Mansion, but this has been really simplified, for better and for worse. This game doesn't really care what position you're holding the stick in, but instead what button you're mashing when you should. Furthermore, all this book does is suck and swallow, but no, okay, I'm gonna walk that one back. But there are no upgrades to this thing. It doesn't really serve any other function. You get some other equipment, but they don't have any use outside of the chapters they're in, so is it really an upgrade? And even the pages you get, which allow you to kill new enemies, isn't really an upgrade either. It just allows you to do the same thing that you've been doing to all the enemies in almost the exact same way. Let's talk about the enemies for a second here, because this is another huge flaw I have with this game. All the enemies are the same. They might look a little bit different, but this doesn't change how you defeat them. You go up to them and absorb their f***ing soul. Sure, they come in all different shapes and sizes, but the bigger they are, that just means you do more of the same thing. Yay! Sometimes you gotta move out of the way. Oh my god, oh no. The final boss, I repeat, the final boss of this game is literally beaten the same way as normal enemies. Actually, all the boss fights in this game are horrible. The first two are hide and seek and tag with a paper bag man over here. Then you just defeat a bunch of tornadoes, a really big zombie, and then
Oh, King of Fire, share my vengeance!
okay, I don't like this boss fight, but that's pretty badass.
Anyway, I started blasting.
There are actually some enemies that stand out because of their unique environment interactions. The mummy is the best example of this. It's an enemy that is prone to running away back into their tombs, which allows them to be protected and forces you to be patient and draw out the enemy before you attack them. These fire ghosts are another example of this, where you have to lead them toward water to put them out, and then you can suck them. Unfortunately, I don't think the ghost works as well because the water has such a wide radius. I didn't even know these ghosts had a fire ability until the final boss. No other enemies really have anything like this, and I think the game would have really benefited from implementing and fine-tuning this design. Allow me to present to you other design choices that didn't really work for me. Hey, Velma.
Remember,
Why are you even here? They keep telling you to show your clues to Velma, but she just slaps your back, says, go get him, Tiger, and just stands there. Menacingly.
guys, quit clowning around. We've got a mystery to solve.
You say to me, you little.
What is the point of talking to Velma? I just don't get it. In fact, what the hell is the rest of the gang even doing? Like, while you're off exercising demons, these guys are nowhere to be found. They taking a day on lunch break? What are you guys getting paid for? Also, sneaking is such a stupid mechanic. There's no point to snooping around enemies. They find you just as easily. Plus, they're slow as anyway. You can just run around them. The same goes with the costumes too. Like, it's fun to see them dress up being invincible. But if you can move faster than the things hitting you, does that really do anything? But at least they use the costumes in the later chapters of the game more effectively. But like, okay, what does this game want to be now? By the end of the game, we aren't just playing Luigi's Mansion anymore. Now we're playing Metal Gear. Like, this is such a random 360 because now we're exploring in a completely different way than what we've been doing since the beginning of the game. I was so lost when getting to the 5th chapter. I was just running around in Halloween costumes, figuring out what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. And thankfully, I stumbled upon it eventually. This sneaking around doesn't even feel intense like it was probably meant to. The punishment for messing up is non-existent. You just go back to the start and trick or treat all over again. It's just so out of the blue. You know what else comes out of the blue? Driving sections. Now, I know the fans of this game might at least agree with me here, but these driving sections make me feel like I'm at a car crash compilation. They control so differently from one another, yet have the exact same problems. The problem is you literally need to be like Goku, because you need ultra instincts to even survive the obstacles that fly at you without a chance. First of all, most of the obstacles are the same color as the background, so they're already hard to see. Second of all, the placement of these objects is so horrible. The only way you can see these obstacles is if you mess up. They're immediately around corners or behind hills. Third of all, the controls are horrible. Like, there is such a delay on when you can jump, or you can't crouch and turn at the same time. It's like the guys who made the levels were also the game testers, so they already knew the layout. I don't know, Coley, sounds like a skill issue. Yeah, well, shut up! But dude, there's a difference between intentionally designing difficulty and difficulty that comes out of dumb design. You dirty dog. This game had some funny and heartwarming moments, and when it was paced correctly, you know, we were chilling. But otherwise, I don't think it's really on the same level as these other Scooby games. In fact, I don't think a direct remake of this game would even work. But it has potential if one could rework it. I don't know. I'm not a game designer. And if you like this game, that's totally fine. I could see how some people can enjoy it. I just can't. At this point, I just want a new Scooby game though. So I'll take anything I can get my hands on at this point. That's a lie. I want a good Scooby game. Yeah. It's Mystery Mayhem.